when I think about life issues, I think about all the difficulties I went through my life, to find a job. But the thing that is very, very concerning to me is, to know the fact that there are people who go into depression. So what I'm thinking right now is that it is key that we get rid of Satan stuttering. So I'm going to leave it there to allow other people to have their say.
I have found great consistency finally with my speech plan. I've been steadily climbing the fluency ladder. I now routinely tell jokes in a group setting if something comes to mind, which I never used to do earlier, because for me, things like telling a joke and also doing an accent, by the way, I used to have a harder time with because of stuttering, because it required a specific delivery. And nowadays, I just say it. And I love it because, I mean, even if the joke isn't too good, I count it as a win, of course. And it's just a joy to, experience myself not holding back nearly as much as I used to. And I can feel it, can feel the holding back decreasing day by day. And this is all thanks to this amazing program.
We definitely want to hear more of your jokes.
I decided to write the PWS prayer. Goes something like this. Brothers and sisters, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of speech, I will fear no stuttering. I will fear no stammering. I will fear no blocking. I will fear no word. I will fear no man or woman or authority figure, because I walk with fluency. I talk with fluency. I shout with fluency. And I stomp with fluency, because I stomp on Satan stuttering. And I stomp and I stomp and I stomp on him till he retreats to the gates of hell. Be gone, you goat-legged demon of disfluency. Be gone. Bless me in the name of fluency, for I am a soldier in your name. Victory is mine. Victory is yours, brothers and sisters. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you.
I think we are all delivered from the stuttering demon this morning.
That was amazing. I am joining your church, okay? Oh my God. But everything you said was so accurate. I have prayed, literally, God, please help me to stop stuttering. I thought I was the only person literally dealing with speech issues. And then I found Coach Lee. I found you all. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God there are people just like me to be able to read in front of anyone. I couldn't do it before this program. And thanks to this program, and thanks to everyone, I don't have an issue with that at all. I can read anywhere to anyone now.
I listened to the speech language pathologist who told me stuttering was an incurable and to learn to live with it. So I lived with it for 60 some years. I often wonder, I was a smart person. Why did I keep stuttering all that time? But I can't look back. My life is what it was, and it was a good life. But I'll tell you, I found Coach Lee's book, The Neuroscience Method, which said stuttering is in your brain, it is a habit. How couldn't I have thought of that? I don't know, but I didn't. It is. Stuttering is in our minds. We can fix it. We have to work hard, but we can fix it. And I'm going to tell you, my life is so much better now. How it feels to go into shops, to use the phone and just talk. Before I stuttered. So I thank everyone here. This is my mission for life. Same as Coach Lee's, wipe stuttering off the planet. You don't have to do it.
It's never late to start. I mean, we all wish that we would have started like Yasin, at 13 years old and pretty much be experts in speaking by now. And but everyone's journey is different, and it's good to hear your progress.
For most of my life, I'm 29, been stuttering since I was 4 or 5, so 25 years, a quarter of a century. And in that time, I have also been praying to God for a solution. And after all those years, uh, God answered those prayers in the form of Coach Lee. And so I see this as a privilege to be part of this group, to be like alive even at the same time, like as Lee, because has there been anyone before Lee as well, right? So it is really a privilege to be living in this time and age with Lee and to be part of this group. And I feel as a result of this privilege that I have a mission here that, there's currently 36 people in this call, that there should be 36 million people, within this call. And, my mission, and I hope it is the mission of everyone here, is once I beat stuttering with Lee's help, God willing, is to then spread this message to those 36 million people until we cure and get rid of Satan's stuttering from the face of the earth.
I definitely feel you when you said that Coach Lee, God answered your prayers through Coach Lee. Coach Lee is definitely a blessing to all of us. And WSSA is definitely a wonderful group to be part of.
The impact that our stuttering has on quality of life, which is massive, is completely massive. I remember that it held me back in every single sense. It held me back with my friends, it held me back with my family. I couldn't answer the questions I knew really well. I had the exact dates, the exact thing I wanted to say, and I held back, and it felt like I was a different person depending on how my speech was. I was one when my speech was fluent, and I was another completely different person when my speech was disfluent. So now what I've had is the freedom to be myself, the freedom to have the tools to express myself in the way I want, and to consistently come across how I want to come across, and that's freedom. That's actual freedom, so yeah, and I'm honestly blessed, both of being here and also of doing my small bit to help others. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what we all want, to improve constantly, one step at a time.
I can definitely relate when you mentioned that you're now free to be yourself. We've maybe some of us or most of us have been in situations where, we were at a restaurant and we wanted to order something like a drink or a meal and we couldn't order that. And we had to pick something else. I mean, even something small like that is such a blow to your happiness to the day because you're constantly thinking about it like I wanted this meal but I couldn't order it. So to be able to live your life depending on your desires is definitely a freedom and we all are grateful for it.
Before I joined WSSA, I've always lived my life with like forcefulness, muscle through everything. But I couldn't go any further because I accepted my fate. I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. So what I did was I was going to pay in kind. So anything I would do is either I'll be that guy that's always trying to please everyone, work myself to death so I can be liked. So that way I'll kind of balance out my speech disability with the work I will have to do. So I tried so much, but I couldn't carry on. When it got to the point where my kids are now laughing at me, I was like, okay, 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 we have to rethink a strategy. I have to go back to searching for solution because kids don't understand this. I mean, you can tell us 20-year-old what you're going through, they will understand. But the 5-year-old, the 3-year-old, to them, they might even want to copy you. So without knowing what they're doing. So I was like, I had to go back and searching and I found Danny and that's how I got here. So I'm really, really in debt to WSSA because man,
There's so many jobs that I could have applied for, but I didn't apply. Having said that, there's still a lot that I have accomplished, but I certainly see how it held me back. And it's interesting, as my speech has improved over the last few months and years, I can see how other people view someone with fluent speech differently. The social skills that you have can make or break you. And for the longest time, I have felt that this is so unfair. It's unjust that I have to go through this when I have all the skills, I have the knowledge, I've done the work in so many cases, but I cannot talk about it. So now that I've done this work, and I keep thinking about what Coach Lee says, he says that when you put in the effort, the work, you will become the best speaker in that room. And I'm starting to see that. And slowly and surely, I am beginning to love to speak. And I'm so grateful to Coach Lee and everyone in this community because I have learned so much from each and every one of you who comes to the practice sessions and to the SAM meetings. I have learned so much about how to speak, what to think about and not think about. Just improve in so many ways. So I'm truly grateful to everyone.
I was afraid for anything, for anyone ask me any question. I struggle in each word. Just thinking I want to stop all of that. I don't want to suffer more. Just I want peace. I was thinking to just jump front a car or doing a stupid action. I had a depression, but I didn't know I had it. This program changing me, and I am forever grateful to this genius. Lee love it.
There's a lot that has to do with me thinking and me having to be in my head. And I thought for a long time that the more I know and the more I learn about the problem of stuttering, the easier it'll be to fix. And I think that for a long time, I learned more and more, but everything just felt harder than it was. And I think that the reasoning behind that was just because I was learning all of this information, and it just helped to give me a reason to overthink more. It's a lot easier to do that when you spend more time overthinking and less time having to put in action and actual work itself. So over the past month or so, I'd say I've really been trying to just let go and just exist and just live. Um, and that has helped me in an immense way because, for one, it's easier to be less hard on myself, but it's also easier to apply the crutches. It's easier to do affirmations. When you have a clear head, you're able and willing to apply things to yourself and your everyday life that you wouldn't otherwise. And whereas before, I felt like I was experiencing these immense highs and lows of, oh my God, my speech is so great. This is awesome. I can say any word, anytime, and anywhere. But with a high, there's always a low. So I would then hit those lows and then it would feel really bad. And I- I've I've had the realization of, well, why do I have to feel a high or a low? So for the past week or two, I've been in this in between that just feels normal. I just feel like a human being, and it feels totally natural. It feels good. It doesn't feel really great. It doesn't feel really awful. And it's just refreshing to exist in this in between because that's just how you're supposed to exist. So to anyone out there having a really hard time with all of this, because it is easy to, my advice is just live in the moment, just be present, because that's really all that we're able to do.
But I wanted to mention how much this program is helping me subconsciously. Before, when I was nervous, I used to really force words. I wouldn't even make the attempt to start over and try again. But now I'm seeing that subconsciously, my mind really knows that I don't have to stutter. It's not something that I do anymore. So even though I can get so nervous, I can still speak fluently now. So now I'm also seeing why all of you guys have been saying that mind training is the most important aspect of this program. Because once I get those nerves to simmer down, I know for a fact I will be a great speaker.
Like Coach Lee mentioned many times, stuttering is a bad habit. And if you can teach yourself other good habits, you can replace those bad habits with good habits. So repetition is the key, and the 1, 2, 3 punch definitely works. So
I've been thinking about years ago when I used to have a very like blocks all the time, anxiety, and all of this. It caused me to avoid speaking in some conversations, to avoid the phone, to have anxiety all the time. And all of these things, this isn't life. This is the opposite of a good life. It's horrible. And years ago, after I found WSSA and Coach Lee and the crutches, the speech plan, the affirmations, I I found hope. I found the tools. And I've been thinking that at the start, as I began to apply all of these things, my mind, my opinion of myself and of conversations, it began to change. I started to believe. And because of that, my speech improved, my life improved. And now I feel free to speak anywhere, just like I'm doing here to all of you. I can speak on the phone, I can speak to a stranger out there. So now I can have a life just like anyone else out there. Whereas years ago, I thought that I would have to live as a PWS all my life when it is not true. So
Well said. I mean, you definitely also speak of that freedom, right? That freedom, that the ability to express yourself freely makes your life more, much more pleasant.
Javier was among the worst stutterers I've ever heard. He stuttered virtually every word, all the time, everywhere. He talks as good as anybody here now. The guy is a miracle.
Thanks to you, Coach Lee. Thanks to WSSA.
That stuttering definitely used to hold me back a lot from important things like not applying to certain jobs, but even just the simple things. For example, if it was my friend's birthday, I would not call them because I couldn't say the stupid herzlich Glückwunsch or happy birthday because of the stupid H sound or hi, or so I wouldn't call my best friend to wish them a happy birthday. And what horrible feeling is that? You feel, yeah, it's just a horrible feeling. And so I would just text them, right? So it's even those small things, it's not just the big things that I was avoiding, even the tiny little things that were just horrible. So I'm really glad that those days are over now and I can call them up in Germany and wish them a happy birthday. So all thanks to this program.
Awesome, Patricia. Small things do matter. And I was thinking as you were speaking, if you knew me before WSSA, you definitely avoid me at all costs because my name is like very difficult to say.
Hassan, great job today. Your speech is fabulous. You know, you really did a wonderful job. And everyone who talked, great job, really. Excellent work. I'm so proud of all of you. I really am.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Reverend Steve, for the sermon. And it's time to close our meeting. I hope that you enjoyed exchanging thoughts with ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. I will now end with our motto. Feel free to say it along with me. If you can say one word anywhere, anytime, you can say and love to say any word, anywhere, anytime. Until next Saturday, have a great weekend.